What if the fastest way to manifest your next level is to stop focusing on you and start focusing on the people you serve? Today, I'm joined by Christine Blosdale, the expert authority coach. Christine helps entrepreneurs crush imposter syndrome, package their genius, and show up like the pro they already are. We're talking simple tools that instantly upgrade your confidence and the mindset shift that makes authority feel natural. If you've ever felt overqualified on paper but underexpressed online, it's time to own it. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I used manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, Christine.
Thank you so much, Jen. I'm happy to be here.
I am happy that you're here with me, connecting from 2 different parts of the world. I've got you up at the crack of dawn today, but we're going to have a great conversation. So I'd love
Yes.
for you to share with the listeners just who you are and what your story is.
Yes. So I am known as the expert authority coach, and I blend all of my decades of experience being in broadcast journalism. I was a radio host, fundraiser, producer, development director at a major radio station in Los Angeles for 20 years, actually. And I found that when I was interviewing people who were very successful in their own right, they'd have issues a lot of times still with their brand and their marketing and all of that good stuff. I was able to tap into that a little bit. And I was lucky enough to have, before that job, an opportunity to work for America Online and Microsoft. And that was a great experience because my target audience that were reading my content, it was a very popular section of AOL that I was writing for. And my editor said, basically, your audience is anywhere from 8 years old to 80. And so you need to communicate and write for that age group. And I'm like, that's a big swath of the population. And so I honed in my craft, and it's way before the Shrek movies. But you know how Shrek is. The Shrek movies, people from all different ages, kids can enjoy it. They get something out of it. And then also the adults can smirk and go, oh, I know what they're talking about. So that's really a combination of all the stuff. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. When I found out how much they paid teachers and where they put you and what you had to do, I was like, no. So naturally, I ended up becoming a coach. And now I have clients all around the world. A great deal of them are in the United States. I'm based in Australia, but I also have some in Canada as well, and a smattering here and there, some in Germany. I don't know how they find me, but possibly from great podcasts like this.
Maybe. And somehow we connected here from me sitting in Canada and you sitting in Australia right now.
Yeah.
And you definitely have a radio voice. So your story
Oh,
totally matches
oh, good.
where you've come from. And I've had many people on the show who have wanted to become teachers. And then that exact epiphany happened. And they're like, nope, I'm not signing up for that to get paid
Yeah.
that. So it's nice that there's options in the world where you can show up as a teacher, not necessarily sitting in a classroom, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I can help people move towards their goals and their dreams and their passions and make a living out of it. And that's what we want to support, especially during COVID. You know, I was busier during COVID than any time. And there was this renaissance or this explosion of especially female entrepreneurs, women who were like, you know what, I can't rely on my job. I'm underemployed or I got let go. And they had an epiphany where they realized that they needed to take control of their future. And so I am just there to support that and help them in their branding, help them in creating the business that they want to create. And especially if it's an international business, if it's a brick and mortar, it's a little bit more difficult, but we can at least work on their branding and their messaging on their website and things like that.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I wanted to chat with you on this show, because you do help people with that, their branding, how they show up. And for me, in manifestation and people going after their goals, yes, there's people that listen to this that are entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, but there's also the people that are just trying to go out there and create their dream life, yet imposter syndrome shows up all the time, shutting us down, no matter
Yeah.
what we're striving for, right? So how do you bust through imposter syndrome and have the confidence to even go after what you want and show up as who you want to be?
Well, with my clients, that's the first thing that I check for is that and we all have moments of imposter syndrome if we don't live there permanently on imposter syndrome lane. And it affects all different kinds of people, right? From all different kinds of backgrounds, all different socioeconomic backgrounds, and especially people who are overachievers, it affects a lot. Leaders, leadership folk. But what happens is that a lot of times we'll face imposter syndrome when it's something that we encounter that is uncomfortable. And it might be, hey, you're asked to speak in front of a large audience, or you're asked to take on a task that you've never done before. And immediately, all those things, those stories start coming up about when I was a little kid, they said that I couldn't amount to anything, or it might be something that an authority figure said to you when you were really small. And even though you went on and you went to school and you honed in your craft, that little voice or that big voice in your head will pop up when it's an uncomfortable situation or when you're asked to stretch, right? And
Yeah.
so I'll always, with my clients, that's the first thing that we work on. And there's some folks that have that imposter syndrome really embedded, and there's some exercises and things that we do to work around that. And then there's others who have just a bout of it every now and then. And it pops up at the most inopportune time. And it's usually when we're asked to do something that's actually going to propel us to the next phase. And it's a really good thing, but we think it's the worst thing in the world. And we're like, I don't know if I can do it. I'll be found out as the imposter. And so there's ways that we work around it. But I also, when it comes to manifestation, I like to create with and for my clients what we call a media kit. And the media kit basically talks about you as the brand, you as the expert, you as the go-to person for whatever your field is. And what I find is that I'll have my clients will work and create this media kit which talks about all your accomplishments, the things that are interesting about you, but that you maybe even forgot. And we go through all those different things. And then it's a way for us, we print it up. I say, keep it by your computer, keep it by your desktop. And that way you can look at it when you are having one of those days where you feel less than or imposter syndrome kind of creeps up. You can take a look at it and you can go, oh my gosh, I accomplished. I forgot I did all those things. That's right. Right? Because sometimes we need to have that reminder that we are everything that we need to be, and we just need to step into our power. And it's a great way to manifest steps towards your goal and to help you get over those little bumps of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I really like that. And I'm just curious, when you're working with your clients to create that, do you get resistance? Like, do people remember all the things that they're doing and easily share that information? Or are they more guarded with how they want to show up and what they want to put out there?
A lot of time, I mean, they're coming to me for help in the first place, right? So they're pretty much open to it. But what happens is they'll be reminded during the process because there's some questions that I ask, and I'll even do my own search. I'll chat GPT them. It's not about Googling you anymore. It's about chat GPTing you. And it's a great way to kind of see what your digital footprint is and what the world knows about you. So we'll do some of that, and I'll ask them some questions. And what will happen is I'll say, because we build a as seen on or contributor, major contributor to, or trusted by type of badge, right? And those are the different logos. Now, this is an old card. For those who are watching a video, you can see it. But the logos, the companies, the recognizable brands that you've been appeared on, that if it might be a television interview, it might be a magazine, it might be that you worked for America Online, right? So those kind of recognizable brands. And as we're going through that, they go, "Oh no, no, I don't think there's anything that I've done." And then I'll say, "Are you sure?" And we'll talk. And they'll go, "Oh, and I forgot. I worked for Nissan, or I have one client who said, "Oh, I created an event for People Magazine." I said, "People Magazine? Are you kidding me?"
Wow.
I said,
Yeah.
"That's a great recognizable brand." And then as we were talking about that, he goes, "Oh, and I also did this company and I did that." And I was like, "These are great big brands." He remembered as we were going through memory lane that he did a huge project for Disneyland. And I'm like, Disneyland? Come on now.
Yeah, you can't get much bigger than that.
I mean, I was like, is it Disney or Disneyland? He goes, no, Disneyland. I said, okay. So we put those really recognizable logos on his media kit, and his expert authority just shot up because if he would have created the media kit by himself, he would have forgotten all those things, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a way, it's a perception so that people know that you're professional and you know what you're talking about. But sometimes we just need to be reminded of those things, right?
Yeah. And I love that you holding that up right away. That was bright, that colorful, that image that you just showed with all the stuff on there. It had a certain energy to it. Your
Yeah.
photo is engaging. It's got all the information there. And yes, it's about you. So me as an outsider looking at it was like, oh yeah, right away I get a vibe off of it of like high energy fun. Whereas if you have it sitting beside your computer and you're looking at it, to be infusing yourself with that same energy of this is the person who I'm showing up as.
Yeah.
That's
Because
powerful.
sometimes we wake up and maybe we're not feeling like, Superman, right? Or we're like, oh gosh, today's a rough day already. We got this time. When you look at that media kit, you're reminded you've got this, right?
Mhm.
And of course, one of the most important things, and I'll tell this to anybody who's an entrepreneur or coach or anyone in the service, especially service industry like myself, the most important thing on that media kit is that photo, and you want to invest in a high quality photographer, you want to get a photo shoot, and you might take 50 or 100 different photos, and there might be one or several pictures that you can use in your social media on your website. But that one picture, and if you notice that picture of me, you can't even see my eyes because my eyes are kind of, squinty, and there's a joyous look upon my face, and I've got my headphones on and a microphone, and it tells you a story without me even speaking a word. And
Yeah.
that one image has helped get me booked on shows. It's on the back of my books. It's on my business cards. So when I give this to somebody, my business card to somebody, they see that face, they see that energy. I'm not a stoic, quiet person.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
bring a lot of energy to the table. And so we want to present ourselves in the way that we want to work with people, right? We want to show off our skills, but we want to connect with them immediately. And so that's what a great brand does.
Interesting. So when you are you sitting down with your clients then and having the conversation, you're getting to know them, who they are, you're getting to know their business and what services they're providing or products they're selling. Do you brainstorm with them then, hey, this might be fun if you get shots of you doing these kind of things, or like you had props, like you said, you've got your headphones in the photo and your microphone.
Sometimes the folks that I work with already have that magical photo, that great image. Because I'll say, give me your best headshots that you have or the best photos that you have of yourself. And they'll go, there's this one, and here's my favorite. And it's like one that's, it may not be the best image to use. And then, but I'll look at it and I'll go, that's the one. Or usually there's at least one picture that we can use. And sometimes they'll be in the process of creating their brand. And I'll say, for now, we'll use this image, but I really want you to go and get a photo shoot done. And when you're done with that, come back to me and we'll replace that image. We'll put the newer image in there. But depending on the person, I have some clients that are extremely cerebral professionals. I love the idea of working with them and creating the media kit and also creating their brand as far as their title is concerned. If you notice, mine says it's Christine Blosdale, the expert authority coach. People right there, they know pretty much who I am. So I have one client who is actually a brain doctor. I mean, not a brain doctor like a surgeon, but works with trauma and the subconscious thoughts that we have that hold us back and addictions. And she was like, "Oh, I want to stand out." She's so kind. She's so sweet. This woman is really smart, but also has a heart of gold. And so she's like, I don't know what to call myself. I'm a blah, blah, blah. It's just long title. And I was like, oh no, no, no. That people aren't going to get that. That's too nerdy, too scientific-y, right? And so I said, what about we call you the brain coach who cares? And she just loved that. She said, "Oh my gosh, that says everything, doesn't it?" And I said, "Yeah, it does." And so that's what we're calling her name. And then we've got the brain coach who cares. And I do that for quite a few different clients. It's fun. I love it. It's the
Mm.
best thing in the world. And then I say, if you're really smart, you want to trademark it. So go run right now and trademark that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would be a fun gig that you have. You're getting
It's so
to
fun.
execute your own creativity. I know personally, it's so easy to overanalyze and overthink. We're even like writing a greeting card for somebody. You want it to be
Mm-hmm.
heartfelt, and as you're writing it out, you're like, oh, like really overthinking what needs to be on there. So to be working with somebody, they're providing all the information, the tidbits, and you get to stand by as a bystander point of view and kind of help them piece it all together.
Yes, because on that media kit, it might be great that you graduated first in your class for whatever, but we don't want to know that. And so I'll say, okay, that's good. That's a nice thing to have, but we're going to focus on these other things. I have one client who is one of the first female hot air balloonists, and she's now a public speaker. She's here in Australia, and she's in her early 80s, I'm guessing. And she was saying, well, these things need to be put on the media kit. And they were all like her awards and things like that. And I said, okay. And we're looking at it. And I said, oh, it's kind of dry with these official awards that you've received. So I said, tell me about some of the most craziest moments about being a hot air balloonist back in the day when they were all men, right? And she's like, oh, this, that, and the other. And she said, oh, yeah. She says, I almost died 7 times. I said, oh, there? Oh, really? I said, okay, that's interesting. And I said, what else? And then she said, well, I was rescued by a pod of dolphins once when I was sure to die in the ocean. I was bleeding, and there's sharks in Australia, you know. So if you're bleeding and you're in the water in Australia, it's not a good thing. And she said, yeah, she says, I was off this boat and a pod of dolphins came around me. And luckily somebody that was in a fishing boat saw the dolphins, recognized the dolphins, and came and saved me. And I said, that's a great story. That's a fabulous story. Let's talk about it. Let's put that on your media kit. And she's like, really? You think so? I said, yeah, hell yeah.
Right.
So now she's getting interviewed on podcast shows and doing more speaking engagements and talking about the different stories of being a woman in a male dominated arena, but also the stories of a lifetime. So she has some legacy as well.
Neat. And she's in her 80s, which I think is
Yeah, I
fantastic.
know. It's so cool.
What is your biggest advice you have for someone who's wanting to show up with authority in the life that they're going to create?
So we'll go back to that imposter syndrome thing because that holds back a lot of people. And what I'm going to say is this: stop focusing on you. And people usually they go, wait a second, I'm paying you to be my coach, to help me with my brand, to focus on me. And it's not about you. It's about the people that you say that you want to serve. If you're a fitness coach and you are afraid of going out there, of creating those videos, of marketing yourself because you're worried about what people might think, oh, or that imposter syndrome comes up. You've only been doing this for so long, or this. You need to stop focusing on you and how you look and how you appear or what people might think or say. And you need to focus on the people that you want to serve. If you put your focus on them, oh my goodness, that's right. I really want to help people feel better in their body. I want to help people live longer so they can enjoy their kids and their grandkids. I want to help people lose weight so that they show up in the world and feel really confident. If that's your goal and that's what you say you want to do, then we need to focus on them, on the clients that you want to serve, and not on how you look or how you're going to be perceived. That's what we do. We just change the focus, right? And if you change the focus and you are passionate about what you do, that's an energy all of its own. And it just opens up doors. And I'll tell you, the last 3 to 6 months, because I was able to really focus on what my clients want and need and not what I want to put out there or what I want to give them, but what they actually need, my business is just skyrocketed.
Mm.
So we need to focus on them. If you're feeling stuck, if your business is like flatlining and you don't know why, Maybe you're trying to, I give people the analogy of this. Maybe you're trying to give people a stapler when they really just want something to eat. And you're like, but this is the best stapler in the world. And as a matter of fact, during the month of November, this stapler is going to be 50% off. I've got the best stapler in the world, and you can use it to do this and that. No. And your clients are saying, I'm just really hungry. I don't want a stapler. I need food. So you're missing the mark, right? And that might be why your business is stagnant. That's what I also help people with, is to figure out what their target demographic, what they need and want. And we focus on that, if that makes sense.
Where can people reach out to you and carry on this conversation?
Yes. So one of my favorite things to do is to talk to people in business and entrepreneurs about their business and where they're feeling stuck. So I have a free discovery call that they can book in with me. They can go to my website. It's all over there. They can book that in. It's expertauthoritycoach.com. There's a big bunch of buttons on there to book that free discovery call. Or if they want to go right to it and book it today, they can go to chatwithchristineb.com, and that gets them to my booking calendar. And it's absolutely free. It's recorded. And we sit down for half an hour, and you just tell me, this is what I've been doing, but this is what I really want to do. This is how my business has been going, and here's where I want to go. And then I will try and talk to you about the easiest, most direct way we can get there quick as well. And my style is simple, easy, and fun. We got to have fun doing it, because if you're not having fun doing it, then you're not going to do it, and it's going to be painful, and we want to make it fun.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show today and having this conversation, Christine.
Absolutely, Jen. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for hanging out with me on the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're ready to take your manifesting to the next level, come join me inside the Manifestation Playground. It's an intentional space I've created to explore, experiment, and expand your manifestation potential. It's where the magic happens. So head on over to www.manifestationplayground.ca to find out more. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep taking aligned action. Cheers to creating a life you love.